Today on this episode of Gideon's Tactical, we're going to see if the Blackwater Grizzly 6 is as tough as the bear it's named after. So the Grizzly 6 is designed by the company Blackwater, and yes, that is the same company that sends out soldiers of fortune around the world to fight wars and work as contractors around the world. It is the same company, and the Grizzly 6 was designed in partnership with Blackwater and DPX knives. You can see that they are very similar to a lot of the bigger DPX knives out there on the market, like the Heft 6 and the Heft 4. Very similar in design, and they take the same type of steel. They are the same type of steel and very similar in design. This one just happens to have the logo, a little bit different handle construction, as well as serrations on this particular model, the Blackwater, versus some of those DPX knives out there on the market. Really quick for you as well, this is designed for the s.e.r.e. S.e.r.e. Survival course, which stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape, that the U.S. military special operations troops created. And this knife was designed to be used and help the guys survive in that test and with the things that they might be doing out there in tactical situations around the world. So this blade is absolutely designed to be a special forces fighting survival knife, and we're going to see today if it does that type of stuff well. Oh yeah, man, I am locked in, and that tip is really nice and strong. Oh yeah. Now this wood's pretty dead, but you can get an idea of how good this knife is at stabbing and penetrating. I mean, that is awesome. I am totally locked in as well. Those the handle guard right there keeps my hand from sliding down. I mean, that thing is going in there. You're gonna be able to stab, pry, and penetrate and use this as a fighting knife. This is absolutely a fighting knife and utility knife if you need it to be. The Grizzly 6 rocks at that. All right, so let's talk about the handle here on the Grizzly 6. It's made out of G10 handle scales with nice little bolted on features there that you can either use a flathead screwdriver or the zipper on your pants, your jacket, whatever, to be able to take the handle scales off if you did want to do that. And like I said, they are machine G10 and they feel amazing. You can see there I wear large size gloves. I got plenty of room to spare there on the knife itself, and it just feels very, very comfortable. Guys, honestly, you really have to hold the blade to understand how comfortable it is. It almost disappears in your hand after a couple minutes of use. It's just so comfortable, so awesome to hold, wield, and just use. It's just a blast to use, and just is, oh, man, regardless if you're in the reverse grip, holding it like that, or just in the normal, I mean, it is just so comfortable with that G10 handle scales. There is a little space in there that you could put some waterproof matches or some tinder if you did want to do that as well. Then they give you a nice little pommel back there and a pry bar, so you could blow open a normal car door, not reinforced, you know, armored car door, window, but it does give you that pry bar and that glass breaker back there. And then on the jimping as well, on that thumb ramp, it's really nice. They give you 3 little notches there that you can strip wire with, is what they say. I believe it would do 14 through 10 gauge wire. You can use that little notches there on that jimping to be able to strip wire. That's what they say that's designed for as well. So the entire handle construction, both with the pommel, glass breaker, pry bar, and the thumb ramp, are really well designed. And again, the handle, guys, is just a dream to use. It's one of the best handles. I will say this on air. This is the best handle I have ever used in a fixed blade. Out of over 150 fixed blades that we've tested, the Grizzly 6 has definitely the best handle overall. Even though it only weighs in at 10.2 ounces, the Grizzly 6 can definitely get some really good chopping. I mean, I'm going right through. This is about 2.5 inch piece of dried out pine. I mean, I'm already halfway through that sucker. More than halfway. See there, I'm just taking chunks out. Boom, there you go. I mean, I was not really exerting any energy. The handle feels great. Do that pinky lanyard that I love to do with that good lanyard hole, 5 550 paracord on there. You'll be able to definitely do the chopping you would need to make a shelter, you know, or start a fire. You'll definitely be able to do that with the Grizzly 6 without really any effort at all. That's awesome. All right, let's talk about blade design here on the Grizzly 6 by Blackwater. You get a 6-inch blade, which is awesome. I love that about knives. 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches is really my favorite. You can do almost everything that I would need to do with a knife with a 5 or a 6-inch blade. So 6 inches is awesome. The thickness that you have on the spine is 0.2, so just over 3/16 of an inch thick, which is also awesome. So it's very thick, durable, awesome. I really like that a lot. You got a saber grind, which is also a really big plus. You know, it basically starts here and goes flat all the way to the edge, and then you have this little unsharpened swedge up there. Really awesome, and I really like that a lot about the blade. And I just like the design of the blade. Kind of a modified drop point, almost to a spear point, is going to lend itself to be able to penetrate and stab, as well as give you tons of belly on that blade. Look at that belly. Man, that's awesome. You can be able to skin animals if you had to. You're going to be able to slice through rope and man-made materials, as well as a combatant and wood. You know, basically anything and everything that a knife was ever designed to do with that amount of belly, you're going to be able to do it with this Grizzly 6. You can see there how well the belly and the plain edge processes wood. I mean, man, I'm getting some awesome curls. Razor sharp. It's going to hold that edge really well with that kind of modified D2 steel. It's awesome. You can really get in there, get your feathering going for a fire. It's going to slice, and that belly is awesome, man. It's going to slice really, really well. And then let's look at the serrations. You can see here you get about 2 inches of serration, so you're going to get basically 4 inches of plain edge, 2 inches of serration. And usually I'm not a big fan of serrations, but in this design, they did a really smart thing here. I don't know if you can see this, but you have the inside, you know, that would be your normal serration, and then flat teeth out here along the edge of the serrations, which you could sharpen with a whetstone. They designed it in such a way that if you have just a whetstone, you know, to sharpen the plain edge, you can get in there and sharpen all these teeth with a whetstone as well, just going back and forth, and you can get all those raised out, the ones that jut out, sharpened no problem with a whetstone. That is a very ingenious design, so you don't have to have two separate types of sharpeners when you have to go in and resharpen this. If you're out in the bush, you know, you're out in the wilderness using this knife, having to survive, having to try and escape or something, this is going to do a great job and be able to tear through, you know, the man-made materials so well. Check it out. You can see with the serrations how thin I can get that wood. If I need to go even thinner, it's going to process wood actually really well. And again, the handle just feels so comfortable as you use it. You don't even know you have it in your hand. But you can see, check out how thin those shavings are. That is awesome. Love that. And with the thumb ramp, you know, normally I don't really care for thumb ramps, and I won't use it, you know, when I'm doing this type of stuff, just because it'll start to cramp my thumb. But you can easily move your thumb over that and then get really good traction almost over the plain edge and get back into your whittling. And this is comfortable. You can do this for many hours of wood processing, and you know, it's not going to fatigue your hand if you just bypass that thumb ramp with your thumb. And then if you are doing your detailed whittling type of stuff, and then if you are doing your stabbing, the thumb ramp does do something. I would rather have it just flat, but the grooving down here as well, that guard is awesome. It's going to block your hand, just cup your hand so well. Again, you don't even know it's in your hand when you're using this knife because of how well they designed that handle, and then the blade itself is just awesome for wood processing. Hi, can you go for just a second out of the frame? Can you? Hey, look, you ready? You ready? Go get it. Yeah, buddy. This is 1 ton rated paracord, 2,000 pound rated, 1/4 inch thick. This thing, this Grizzly 6 will go right through it with that plain edge, as well as with the serrations. You can just push, and those serrations go right through the Grizzly, right through the rope. This Grizzly 6 goes right through that 1 ton rated rope. So if you are a paratrooper, you know, and you're hanging in a tree somewhere, you're definitely going to be able, regardless if it's the plain edge or the serrations, go through man-made materials. Like, I mean, nobody's business. I'm just pushing. I'm not pulling. I'm just pushing, and then boom, slices right through there again. 1 ton rated paracord is no match for the Grizzly 6. All right, so let's talk for a minute about the sheath. It's kind of so-so at best. It's a nylon sheath. You know, I really, for the price point you're paying, which is around 160 bucks, I would have liked to see a Kydex sheath or just even an upgraded nylon sheath. So this is a nylon sheath. You got a pocket in the front here, a little jump pocket. You can put a stone sharpener of some kind. You can remove that flap completely if you just wanted it to be a dump pocket. You got 2 leg lashings down here as well as a plastic kind of loop to be able to lash it different ways if you want to. On the back, you got a nice set of molly, which is nice that you can molly it through, and the molly also operates as the belt loop, so you have to use the molly to put it on your belt. Then you got 2 more lashing points up here, as well as the button strap, which is nice because if you can see here, they have coated that with some hard plastic to kind of keep it from being torn up when you remove the knife from the sheath, with a little insert there. And to kind of show you, here's how the blade enters in. Buttons and snaps nicely. Nice strong snap there again with the plastic coating around that nylon strap. That is a plus that they give that to you, and it's not coming out. You can see there, no edge is exposed or anything like that. There's definitely a lot of rattle. Again, not very tactical, which is how they're selling this knife and making this knife and designing it for. And the other downside is if you are in a fighting situation, you're wearing it on your rig and you got to pull it out really quick. When you pop the button and try and pull it, you can see there it is totally tearing up that snap. You have to totally drag it through that snap. The snap doesn't really move out of the way, so you're going to thrash that snap really quick if you're using this as a fighting knife. And I would highly recommend you probably replace this with some sort of Kydex sheath. Make one of your own, have someone design one for you, because the sheath is pretty subpar in my opinion. It's not jump ready. That's another thing. It only has 2 lashing points right here, and then you can do the paracord lashing back here on the handle. And they're selling this to you as a survival knife for the paratroopers and special forces and soldiers of fortune, and it's not jump ready. So again, another afterthought sheath for a great blade, which kind of sucks. Nice. So you can see there with that 0.2 inch thick spine, so just over 3/16 of an inch thick spine, that the Grizzly 6 can definitely plow through some wood without difficulty. And with that 6-inch blade, you're going to be able to span a lot of wood when you are batoning, so that you can get into that thinner wood, so you can feather it, start your fire. With the saber grind, it's going to do an awesome job plowing through that wood. Nice. All right, well, let's talk a little bit here about the steel that they decided to use on the Grizzly 6. It is a line steel specific for that company. It is PVD steel, Rockwell hardness 59. So basically what I've read up on, this is again just patented straight to line steel. That company is the only one who's come up with it, designed it. Basically what you're looking at is a modified D2 tool steel. So it's a modified kind of tool steel, semi-stainless, and has some high carbon in it. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds is what they're shooting for. So if you've used a D2 modeled knife before, you're going to get very much the same type of edge retention and toughness out of the blade. So in conclusion, would I recommend the Grizzly 6 by Blackwater? Absolutely. This is an amazing knife. I love using this blade. It's so much fun to use, and I just really enjoy using it. It's a great size, good durability. Right now, at this very moment, BLADEHQ is selling these for $110. That is the cheapest online that you can find. Normal price on Amazon, eBay, other websites, you're going to pay about $160 to $180, which I don't know if it's quite worth that, but $110 I believe is a steal for this particular blade. From the cutting of rope and man-made materials to the stabbing, prodding, using it as a tactical, fighting knife. If you had to defend your life with a blade, this would do an amazing job, as well as making your kindling, processing wood for a fire, or just making a shelter to survive the night and survive with a knife. The Grizzly 6 is awesome. The materials are awesome. Stamped in there, lion steel, made in Italy. It's a very high quality item. And really, the only complaint I have is with the sheath, which is pretty much bogus in my opinion, particularly for such a high quality knife. So awesome blade, kind of sucky sheath. So if you're good at Kydex, or you have a buddy you can make Kydex, and you are going to be using this Grizzly 6 for out in the wilderness, tactical, survival, you are going to be using it as the s.e.r.e. type of stuff, out there as a tactical blade or survival blade. This thing is going to rock, and it's going to be awesome, particularly if you can get yourself a good either nylon or Kydex sheath. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.